We are surrounded by objects, everyday items we often take for granted. But sometimes, an object is not a thing you can hold. Sometimes, it is a practice, it is a philosophy, it is a state of being. And today, we are objectifying one of the most transformative, yet widely misunderstood, practices in human history. Yoga. You likely know yoga as a series of physical poses. Maybe you have seen a sun salutation or a graceful warrior pose. Perhaps you think of it as a modern fitness trend, a weekly class at your local studio, or simply a way to touch your toes. But what if I told you that the stretch is only the tip of an iceberg that is thousands of years old? What if the true story of yoga is far more profound, far more surprising, and far more revolutionary than any contemporary class could ever suggest? This is the history, the philosophy, and the hidden power of a practice that unites the mind, the body, and the spirit. This is the surprising truth about yoga. To understand yoga, we must go back, way back. Forget the bright mats and the Lululemon attire for a moment. Our journey begins over 4,000 years ago in the Indus Valley Civilization, one of the world's earliest great urban cultures. The most concrete evidence of yoga is not a text, but an object: seals and stone figurines excavated at sites like Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa. These artifacts, dating back to 3000 BCE, depict figures seated in what are undeniably yogic postures, including the Padmasana, or lotus pose, suggesting a deep antiquity for these practices. However, the philosophical framework of yoga truly begins to crystallize much later in the collection of sacred texts known as the Vedas, specifically the Upanishads, written around 1500 to 500 BCE. Here, the word yoga first appears with a meaning that is crucial. It means to yoke or to unite. The goal was never fitness. The goal was spiritual liberation, a union of the individual consciousness, the Jivatman, with the universal consciousness, the Brahman. It was a system for seeing reality as it truly is, a path for dissolving the illusion of separation. The foundation of what we now call classical yoga was codified by a sage named Patanjali in his Yoga Sutras. Likely written around 400 CE, this text, consisting of 195 concise aphorisms, is the absolute bedrock of the philosophy. Patanjali did not invent yoga, but he was the great systematizer. He laid out the famous 8 limbs, or Ashtanga, of yoga. And here is where the surprise begins for most modern practitioners. The first 2 limbs are not physical poses. They are ethical and moral disciplines, yamas, which are restraints like nonviolence and truthfulness, and niyamas, which are observances like contentment and self-study. It is only the 3rd limb asana that refers to the physical postures. And in Patanjali, his original text Asana is described simply as a steady and comfortable seat. It was a posture to prepare the body for the real work, long periods of meditation. The complex, dynamic physical practice we know today, the endless array of inversions and balancing poses, that is a much later evolution, primarily from the medieval period, where the focus shifted to Hatha Yoga. Hatha Yoga is the tradition that truly innovated the physical practice. Emerging between the 6th and 15th century CE, its texts, like the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, introduced detailed postures and powerful breathing techniques, or pranayama. The goal here was not just meditation, but to purify and strengthen the physical body to make it a suitable vehicle for spiritual awakening. The philosophy held that the body contained subtle energy channels, nadis, and energy centers, chakras. The poses and breathing were designed to awaken a dormant spiritual energy known as kundalini. This shift marks the major innovation from primarily meditative and ethical discipline to a sophisticated psychophysiological system. The most recent and influential innovation occurred in the early 20th century. Teachers like T. Krishna Maria and his students, including B.K.S. Iyengar and K. Pattabhi Jois, traveled across India and beyond, adapting the traditional hatha practices into the vigorous flowing styles that have become globally famous. They introduced sequences like vinyasa and the emphasis on precise alignment, transforming the practice into a highly accessible athletic discipline tailored for a modern, often physically stagnant Western audience. The yoga you see on social media is the great-grandchild of an ancient system, filtered and innovated for the contemporary world. The cultural significance of yoga cannot be overstated. In India, it is not merely exercise, it is one of the 6 orthodox schools of Hindu philosophy. a profound contribution to the understanding of the self. Globally, it has become a true cultural phenomenon. It is estimated that millions of people worldwide practice yoga regularly, and the economic impact is immense, a multi-billion-dollar industry encompassing everything from apparel to retreats. However, this global appropriation comes with a surprising challenge. The practice is often stripped of its ethical and spiritual context, reduced entirely to a physical workout. This is sometimes called mindfulness or Jin Moga. The original 8 limbs are reduced to just 1. Asana. The cultural conversation surrounding yoga today is a fascinating study in globalization, a sacred tradition that has become a universal commodity, offering profound benefits while simultaneously risking the loss of its deepest meaning. Now, for some truly fun facts, did you know that the headstand, the Asana, is called the king of all asanas because it is believed to reverse the effects of gravity on the organs and increase blood flow to the pituitary and pineal glands? Another surprise, there is an entire branch of yoga called Bhakti Yoga that is entirely focused on devotion and love, which involves no physical postures at all. Furthermore, the term hot yoga is a relatively recent invention, popularized in the 1970s, though the idea of practicing in heat does have historical roots in the intense purification rituals of some older yogic traditions. The true ancient surprising detail, though, is this. The philosophical texts assert that the ultimate goal of yoga is a state where the practitioner is utterly indifferent to the praise or the critique of others, a perfect state of mental equilibrium. This is the definition of a truly strong core. So, the next time you step onto a yoga mat, remember that you are participating in a 4,000-year-old conversation. You are not just stretching your hamstrings. You are connecting to an unbroken lineage of seekers who are looking for liberation, for truth, and for union. You are not simply engaging in a physical activity. You are practicing a philosophy of life, a science of the mind, and a path to self-mastery. The body may be a vehicle, but the destination is the soul. Yoga is an object of practice that is meant to make you less objectified by the world as distractions. What is one unexpected thing you learned about yoga today? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We read every single one. If you found this journey into the surprising history and philosophy of yoga insightful, please consider subscribing to Objectified. We publish deep dives into the stories of the things and practices that shape our lives every single week. Thank you for watching.